Hello gorgeouses, Laurel Lee Pollard here with a tutorial on how you can create custom flip books using Tim Holtz alteration dies by Sizzix. Come on! Now a lot of the reason why we want to make our own custom flip book is because you can buy the standard chipboard flip books, but they're already cut out. Can you imagine layering custom paper on top of here and trying to cut out so that it all looks neat and professional? Not going to happen. So what the idea is that we lay our paper on and then use these fabulous on the edge dies by Tim Holtz and Sizzix. Now the alteration dies, the on the edge by Tim Holtz, he has a full collection that you can find at Sizzix.com. I love it. Okay, just flatten that right out, no problem. The good part about this project is it is very forgiving. The adhesive, I really like to get the edges. The adhesive, I have gotten halfway down with my piece of paper and needed to pull it back up again to make sure that I got it positioned correctly. See, it's just like that. Just pick it up before you really start to lay down. One edge, let it fly, pull it down, ready to go. So I've used spray adhesive to cover both sides of my chipboard with a 12 by 12 decorative paper. Now we need to figure out the height that we would like our flip book. So what I'm going to use is the Tim Holtz on the edge dies of 5.5 inches. So that is the height that I'm going to use. So go ahead, put it right into your paper cutter to 5.5 inches, and you'll get 2 sections out of a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard. 1 5.5 and 2 5.5. So now we're ready for the next section. Now, to maximize the length that we have for our flip books, we use 4, 5, 6, and 7 inches. Can you get a 7? 5 and 6. Now they get to alternate. That's when you see the gorgeousness. Make sure I have it. There it is. Oops, put that. Looks a little bit better. There's the beginning. Now I use the Crocodile Big Bite to do my binding. So now is the time to get those holes in there because it will help me keep everything straight as I'm going through to do the die cut. Now with these, now is the time to make sure that everything is right side up. And I can see this one here, I don't know if it's legible, but that writing was upside down. So straighten everything out. This is how it's going to look when you do it. Now for me, you can see from where I put my binding clips, it is 1.5 inches is my preference for putting it in from the edge of the flip book. So I'm going to measure out, come down 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches in, and 5.5 inches and 1.5 inches up. Now the good part is that all I have to do, I'm going to take the Crocodile, will go through 2 of these at once for me. Now your chipboard does come in different thicknesses, and this is one of the medium ones. So I'm going to line up where my 3/16 inch hole, I use a larger hole, and I come back 1/2 inch. So on the Crocodile, it will tell you how far along you've gotten. So as long as you're lining up this way and you come up 1/2 inch, it will go through both for you. Now, I use the top one as my template for all the rest. So that way I don't need to keep measuring and measuring on this. So I put it in, line it up. I can see I put that down halfway, button it through quickly. This Crocodile, the fabulous edge, which of course is why we love our Flipbook so much. Now, can I get this edge with something like this? I don't think so. Not through the chipboard, not going to work. Now we have Tim Holtz steel ruled dies. Now these will go through chipboard, they'll go through tin, they'll go through grunge board. They are terrific and they are heavy duty and they are designed specifically for on the edge, which are great for cards as well as our Flipbooks. Now for this one I use the brackets, and on the brackets it has actually two rules on each one. So you get two brackets in this one particular die. Now on this one, they are not evenly spaced from the edge. So I made the mistake of just putting my paper in the middle the first time and cutting it. And because of course it was a separate distance here, you can see the waste that came out of those two different cuts. Now, not tough to tell if these are different, which made my page layout different. So to compensate for that, I got my painter's tape out because I knew that I would need something to let me know how far up. As long as I was the same distance from the edge when I went to cut it, then it would come out evenly. So I just took some painter's tape and put in a stop for me. And this is removable and it will work, and that way when I go to put my page in, it will be same distance no matter which side I'm using. And so, which is what I handled here. So now you can see the waist is the same because I'm putting it the same depth on the die, and then my pages come out the same. Okay, so this is where the magic happens. I have my Tim Holtz Alterations die on the edge by Sizzix and the first page of my Flipbook. Now I prefer to use the large scallop first, which is on this side, and I'm going to move that right up, and oops, I wanted my to show up. So I'm going to move that up to the stop, and I use that blue painter's tape again, comes in the roll, very reasonable. Now what I do is I fold it over and I lead with the die. Cutting pad on the bottom, another cutting pad on top, and push it on through until it catches. You'll start to see that push around. Now don't be afraid, you'll hear it'll get tough and you'll hear a crinkle. Do not worry, that's the way it's supposed to be, but it's very easy to move right along. So we have this, and then this will be, again, don't forget because it's all taped down. Gorgeous! So I'm going to do this 3 more times for my 4 pages. Now, one thing that I did want to mention too is one of your sides will of course still have that painter's tape on there. Do be careful when you're taking that off. If you're using regular just plain paper, it doesn't have a nice satin finish on it, it can pull away if you're not careful. You just roll it back evenly and no problem. So here we go with our final page of our Flipbook. Now again, please go first in with the die. Whatever hits the rollers on your Sizzix will create the greatest amount of pressure. So it can create a divot on your cardstock. So you turn it around, you lead in with your die, put your cover stock, your top cutting pad on, and roll it on through. And I love that snap. Yay, it just says gorgeous. Let's take a look. There we go. Yay! Next up is to put our binder ring on. And again, seeing as we lined up all those holes all at once, we just quickly put that together and we are D-O-N-E done. Well, I hope this has given you your inspiration to pick up one of Tim Holtz On the Edge dies by Sizzix. He has 14 available to be used in conjunction with the Sizzix Big Kick and Big Shot machine. They'll cut through chipboard, mat board, and other heavy materials to create these custom flipbooks for you and your family. Check out for more inspiration at laurelleepollard.com.
Happy crafting.